Welcome back, league mates and listeners. It is week 11. It's your co-host Dane and AJ back with another Pigskin Pals podcast. In this episode, we're going to be going over our weekly DFS lineups. I got another win last week. Hopefully we can keep that streak running up on AJ. But don't forget to sack and like those subscribe buttons like they're Jalen Hurts and Jaden Daniels, because they're both playing tonight on Thursday night. Yeah, I mean, I'm repping the Cowboys for you. I'm taking them. I'll sack them both.
I appreciate it.
And hopefully all the piggies out there will sack it too. Let's get stuck right into this episode.
Here we are, week 10 DFS results. Another win for Dane. He's on like a 6-win streak right now. I can't pull it together. I've got 6 ice cubes. Not a single person other than my quarterback and defense got over 10 points. It was a roughie.
It was fun though last Thursday because we recorded this on Thursday. We showed our lineups. We both had, I had Burrow, you had Jackson, so that was a really fun back and forth seeing. I was like, maybe we're gonna reach 200, and then
it was really unfortunate that the actual only player that didn't do well on that Thursday night game was Zay Flowers, because that would have been a real nice start to the week if Zay had a good week. But
in hindsight, I don't know if it would have been enough. You would have, your hopes would have been
I mean, he surely wouldn't have gotten 33 more points, so I don't think it would have been enough, but it would have been closer. But let's do it. Let's just get right into week 11 lineup. What are your thoughts seeing my quarterback, bro? What's your thoughts?
Russ, I like it. I think that was one of the best value quarterback plays for this week, just because you just saw what Burrow did against the Ravens. Obviously, that's Burrow. I'm not saying Russ is gonna however many touchdowns and 30 points for his fantasy output, but I think it's a very safe play. And we went over it in our matchups on Tuesday. This is the highest over-under, so there should be points to be going around. So I'm really happy with that. I went with the other value play in my mind, which was Purdy. And that was like, I think it was 1 point less for the over-under. So I was targeting that game. So I went with Purdy.
I like it.
Mainly because, as you'll see later down, I won't. Maybe some stacking options I liked better than the Ravens game. But my running back one is Joe Mixon against Dallas. I mean, it's not as safe, I feel like, with Nico coming back, so it'll be interesting, but hopefully the whole offense just is boosted. And then hopefully they don't take their starters out against Dallas in the third
It's possible.
quarter.
It might be the start of the third quarter, and out of halftime, they've got their bench players in. Who knows?
But I feel like as long as I can get 15 points from my running, like my highest, maybe this is my highest paid player, but
it's his highest paid player.
That's all I really want. And AJ, you went with Aaron
Jones. I talked about him a bit in our other episode this week. I think that this could be a game that Minnesota wins pretty handily, and I think Aaron Jones will be a big part of that. I could be just falling into this. I don't know why I have this like affinity with targeting the Tennessee Titans with running backs.
I was gonna say
last week it didn't work very well with J.K. Dobbins, but I think Aaron Jones is better than J.K. Dobbins, and the team in general is better than the Chargers. So hopefully this one sticks, and I don't look like an idiot again. And if this guy duds it up, I'm never targeting the Titans ever again with a running back. Just keep me to that, dude.
Okay, I will. My RB2 is Kenneth Walker. So on the comeback with Purdy, it looked like the 49ers were allowing a lot of points to the running backs too. So I was like, oh, this looks kind of like a match made in heaven right now of what I was building. So I was really happy to be able to fit Kenneth Walker in my lineup. And AJ went with Jonathan Taylor. I do like that.
Baby. I think he's going to have a great week. A-Rich playing over Flacco really matters. I don't think it does. JT hasn't really been a pass catcher this year. I don't really know if he has been in the past, but he certainly hasn't been this year. He's going to get that touchdown this week. We talked about that group bet we're doing with our league. I got JT this week as my touchdown scorer, and I got faith that he's going to pull through.
I should have known that you were going to put him in your lineup because
dude.
For your recording, I was switching Mixon and Taylor in and out between each other. And it would have been really nice if I had Taylor just to cancel out the Taylor side of things. I'm feeling like we're not going to have anything. No, I feel like we might have one thing to cancel, and it might be this.
Oh, no, I didn't do it. I didn't go Pickens.
I went with Pickens, so I mean, that's kind of nice that you have Russ, but for all the same reasons that we liked Russ, that's why I like Pickens too.
That's fair. I got.
Plus the Steelers running backs have both popped up with injuries. Like Warren just popped up too with a back issue.
I think Najee's good to go. I asked Emma about it today. She said Najee was good to go. So we'll see. We'll see what that means.
AJ, We do have some
I
skin in the
paid up,
game this
baby.
week.
I think the Eagles are going to have I talked about it on our last episode too. I think they're gonna almost have their way with the Commanders today, and I think AJ Brown's gonna have a massive, massive game. He hasn't had like a true like huge game yet this year. He's had his standard is like he gets a nice 12, 13 points, whatever. I think he's gonna have a blow up game, and I hope that's the case because he's kind of expensive. If he didn't, it's gonna suck.
I might have to play some player prop parlays just to
Ooh.
hedge this. So I'll hit the overs. So then I'll be like, well, yeah, maybe I lost the lineup, but at least I won some money. Rounding out the stack that I have, this triple stack of Purdy, Kenneth, Walker, and Debo. Debo is my wide receiver 2. I was really tempted just to do Juwan Jennings and save some money, but I really didn't like the upgrades that it was going to give me at like my wide receiver 3 because I was fine with my running backs and my wide receiver 1. So that was who I was going to upgrade. I was like, oh, it's not even really that much. So I went with Debo, and you went with Elijah
I'd like to say
Moore.
this is DraftKings being crazy and throwing like the random order that they do. I don't understand how they do this. I was trying to flip it around, so I got another guy below. It's not as crazy as it looks for this to be my wide receiver 2.
I will say. I was gonna say. I do sometimes I switch out the player just purely out of that fact. If I don't like the position that DraftKings
over the position of it, that's
go
so
and
funny.
Find someone
that's
else.
So funny. I love that. That's a good take, honestly. But I went with Elijah Moore. I didn't have too much cash left, honestly, and I think Jameis is going to sling it as he does. We'll see if New Orleans stepping up on pass defense was a fluke last week or if it wasn't. But I think it's a reasonable dart throw with not a lot of cash. So that's about it.
I don't hate it. I think any of those Browns receivers are kind of like a good throw-in, and Moore is the cheapest. So my wide receiver 3 is Nick Westbrook.
I don't hate that.
Yeah, 4 out of the last 5 games he scored a touchdown. He missed last week. I almost put him in my lineup last week, and he missed the touchdown. So hopefully I just
You're back.
played it perfectly, and he's going to get back on this touchdown streak and get me one. You can throw on Minnesota also, and I'm expecting them to be down. So
they're going to need to, yeah.
I was happy with throwing him in, and you got your boy.
My boy, Puka Nacua. He's been like, in games he doesn't get ejected, he's been really, really good. He's getting thrown at a lot. He's getting a lot of targets. New England is not particularly scary on defense. I think he will have at least like a solid 13 no matter what, and I like that with only the upside for more. So, and he's my boy. I feel like I haven't had Puka yet in the DFS. I got to get him in here.
Yeah. You have been missing out on some Puka action. I have a Ram also for my tight end. I went down in the basement
dirty
with Davis Allen, who looked like he just surpassed Colby Parkinson last Monday night game. So he's one of the cheapest options you can have at tight end, and looks like maybe a starter. So that's where I saved a lot of my money right there.
Here we go. Little baby Juwan Johnson. I don't really have too much for you here. I think there's not a lot of pass catchers on New Orleans right now. He's been a reasonable option, probably top 3 option for this passing offense. They're gonna pass. I think it's not gonna be a high scoring game, but it's gonna be a close game. So it's gonna be like they're gonna need to throw. They're not just gonna be able to go Kamara because Kamara's probably gonna get stuffed by this defense. He wasn't too expensive. I didn't like a lot of the options, and I thought with all the pass catchers they have out, he's a reasonable shot here to put up some points.
At least you got a little mini stack with Elijah Moore and
that was part of my thought process as well. Those were my last 2 picks, I believe, in my lineup. And I was like, I like Elijah Moore. I can just go back and forth here with Juwan then too.
Dawson Knox at 3,500.
I did. And I think I'm like a widely renowned Dawson Knox hater. So
okay, because I was looking at him originally
I get it.
I was like,
Kincaid's out, but I don't know. That game I'm also like kind of straying away from a little bit. So
I don't have any players from there either. I got Demont in the flex. It's gonna be a huge, crazy game for the Lions. I'm kind of thinking that just everyone is going to eat on the Lions. Everyone's going to score. Maybe not everyone, but like a lot of the players are going to score. We've seen the Lions kind of run it up on some teams too, and that's what I'm feeling for this Detroit Jags, and that's also
I
what
like
Vegas
it.
is
I like
too.
it. I want to don't pull it yet. I got a nasty boy here, but I'm feeling good about it. It's a nasty boy. I'm feeling really nicey about.
A nasty
Pull it down
boy.
now.
Wait, I'm trying to calculate your cash.
So here's the thing. You saved a lot of money on 1, not taking AJ Brown, and 2, your Allen and Keenan picks. Those really like saved a lot of cash for you.
Okay, let's see this
Anyway.
nasty boy.
There's the stack, baby. Dub, dude, come on. We
I don't
talked
think
about
that's
it. The
that
game's gonna
nasty.
it's a nasty boy in terms of price a little bit, I guess. But he saw 12% snap share last week. I get that he had just gotten traded there, but I think that's part of the thing is I think he'll be incorporated a lot more into the game plan this week after being there for a bit. It's gonna be what we think to be a high scoring game. You can pass on the Ravens. He could get a deep ball. He could get a touchdown. Got a little stack there with my boy Russ. I don't know. It's a nasty boy, but I'm kind of feeling really confident about it. If DK Metcalf hadn't been active this week, I may have played Mike Dub in Dynasty just because I'm feeling so good about it too. That's what I'll say.
That's cool. And that's actually just a really good stack for you too, because if nothing really goes Pickens' way, and it is a high scoring game, and Russ and Mike Williams just kind of carry you a little bit, that could be scary for me.
Could be nicey.
And my defense is the Titans. Also another cheap one. I'm kind of betting against the Vikings right now with how Darnold has been playing the past couple of weeks. Titans, I think, are a good defense. Maybe they're going to be giving him some trouble. And you got the Bears.
I just got the Bears. It's a nasty divisional game. I think it's probably going to be fairly low scoring. Maybe they'll get a turnover or two. Jordan Love's been throwing a couple picks here and there. I think it'll be low scoring. I think it's going to be all right.
I feel like I say that every single week, but I'm going to the game. I'm going to Chicago to watch the Packers.
Got so many games. Holy shit, this is insane.
I know. It will be...
That's fun, though. Have you ever been to...
I've never been to Soldier Field. And I've been there like around there for a concert, but that's about it. But I'll be going to my sister's tailgating, or like there's a bar right over there that's like a college theme bar, but it's going to be a Packer bar that we can do a little pep rally at.
That's sick. That's sick. All right. After seeing whole lineup, I know you're on a 6-game win streak, so it's hard to feel bad, but
I like the color coordination my team has with the darks, the reds,
the blues in the bottom,
blues on the bottom.
Yeah, no, that's kind of nice. I do like that. I think you got me there. But you don't got Mr. Unlimited on your team.
I do not.
I don't know.
I do not have Mr. Unlimited. I feel overall pretty confident as long as the Seattle-San Francisco game is what I'm expecting it to be. If not, I'll be in trouble probably. Here
are our redraft picks. I am still up by 3 games. I don't know if that's changed. Actually, I said still, but that could be different than what it was before. But I'm in the lead. We're there. We're all the same. Dane, was there anything that you really wanted to point out from these matchups? Think I might lose. That's what I'll say.
I'm just kind of struggling with my team right now. Like this week, I've actually been trying to put in some trades. I got a couple through in some other leagues. Like I'm starting to really worry with Kareem Hunt, who's kind of been carrying me. With Pacheco coming back, I'm not really sure what I really want to do. What I've been really trying to do is pivot to Rachaad White, which no one's been talking about, and like I feel like he's been pretty lackluster, but his playoff schedule looks so fucking good. And like I can only assume with Godwin out, who knows how healthy like Mike Evans is going to be. They could still be running just like 2 running back sets.
Absolutely.
Even, like White just in the slot or something and playing more of a receiver role. But I haven't been able to get him anywhere. And
that's fair.
I'm not going to trade for him in Dynasty either because I feel like he's a dying asset for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm happy that my team's still winning, but I'm scared for the playoffs.
I'm in the same position as I was last year, where I'm right on that cusp playoff contention. Like last year, I was basically winning, I'm in. I was outside looking in, and I needed to win, and I lost. Right now, I'm 7th. I'm right on the edge. I'm only 1 game off, but it's interesting. My team, I think, is only I was excited about this team after last week, but Javonte, he's been a core piece of like flex piece basically for me. That's kind of scary now going forward. I don't know if that's going to be a player I can rely on. And
was he in your lineup that I saw?
Yeah, he's in there.
Oh, you got to change that. You're playing him this week?
I want you to look at my bench. That's why I'm feeling a little bit scared. My bench is Marshawn Lloyd, Khalil Herbert, Noah Brown, Alec Pierce, and then all my other guys are on IR, or I'm looking for options. I'm floating some trades out there because I am a little bit worried about this week. I think I could pull it out, but
that's who I was seeing. Why aren't you playing Noah Brown instead of Javonte?
So my thought process is, I don't know. I think that could be a good play.
I think that would be a lot better play.
Better, right? It's got to be better.
Javonte got 1 carry last week. I don't expect it to be that split of a difference for like the timeshare with SMA.
No, you're right.
But like we have no idea really.
Yeah, that because Javonte was a guy who I'm actively trying to make trades right now. Not necessarily with Javonte, but like just to get another piece that I can use, maybe split an asset or something like that. So I was hoping that Javonte wouldn't be in my lineup going forward or going into this week. But I think Noah Brown maybe just is. If I don't get a deal done, or it's probably better to just have played Noah Brown and then not have to play Javonte, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean in my head, Javante's in redraft is damn near close to droppable, and I would be looking at
I'd
Demarcus Robinson or Devon Vele over him too on the
like
waivers.
to wait another week or two, or a week at least. Like this week, give him see if that was just like they were testing Estime out or something. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Ooh, how about Nick Westbrook-Ikine? He's on waivers for you.
I feel like I'd rather go Noah Brown.
Yeah, I would too. That game looks nice.
It's gonna be a fun game. I think the Eagles are going to win, but it'll be fun. Yeah. I think that's good for a redraft. We can move on to Dynasty where we do have some differences.
Differences alert.
The differences. We both. Okay, I'll just go over quick. That's crazy from you. First of all. Second of all, the ones we got the same. We have Jake beating Parker, Peter beating Luke. Both kind of expected, I'd say. Ryan beating Austin, which I'd say is also expected. But you also have me beating Sam, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, we should talk about that one, even though it's not on here because that is a upset.
Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously gonna pick myself, so that's just the way it goes. But this is the matchup.
Yeah, I was hoping maybe you weren't gonna be confident in yourself, but
with DK in, I'm feeling a little bit better. That's what I'll say. Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing for me is A-Rich being back in with Josh Downs kind of tanks that value. Not tanks, but not as strong. Nick Chubb hasn't really been all that good, and he's facing a pretty stout run defense, from what I recall. And I really do think Lamar may not have one of his Lamar days, just because I think that, like, it's possible that he does. I'm not saying he won't. I'm saying it's possible that maybe he has a dud against the Steelers, because, like, we're saying, you know, big game, a lot of points. What if this just turns around and is that, like, complete dud? Like 13-10 game. That's a win con for me, I think.
My biggest reason for choosing you, it was a very slight reason, but it's just looking at the flexes between the two of you.
Yep.
You got Puka and DK in, and Sam's running Nick Chubb and Aaron Jones out, who even you were, I mean, you do like the matchup
I like
against
Aaron
Titans,
Jones, yeah.
but I don't like it as much. And then Chubb just
Chubb
really
is just
felt the same. I don't really know why Sam's playing him. I would be playing Juwan Johnson over Nick Chubb, and I'd like his team a lot more. I probably would have just selected Sam. I mean, I don't think we can predict a down game from Lamar.
No, it's impossible to say that.
Especially with this game environment, the highest over-under that I can't shut up about. And then he also has Purdy, one of the other best quarterback plays for this week, I think, too.
Yeah.
And he's got Mixon in his lineup, too, who I clearly
I don't know how you
before.
picked me with you talking about this right now.
It was just a hunch that
So
I went with you, and now I'm kind of wishing I went with Sam.
You can switch if you'd like, but here's my thought too is I'm not convinced with Kirk being a good play this week, Kirk Cousins, and I am convinced with like Jacoby Myers being a good play. And if I think Jacoby Myers is a good play, isn't Gardner Minshew a good play? I don't know. Like, should I be playing Gardner Minshew against Miami as opposed to Kirk Cousins against Denver? It seems like it's possible.
I switched to Sam.
Okay. Great. You know what I'm going to do?
I can't back you up anymore.
You know what I'm going to do? Gardner Minshew in over Kirk Cousins and sign my own death warrant. How about that?
I don't know why. Okay. I would
think it's a vibe.
Kirk in if I were you.
I
don't
really
think it's a vibe.
Denver's, we'll see. It's like they don't play till Sunday, so I got time to change. But right now, I'm feeling it's a little Minshew mania back again.
Wouldn't you rather have read off the weapons for the Falcons and then
Jacoby
read off
Myers.
the weapons for
Gardner Minshew has Jacoby Myers. He's got Brock Bowers, Trey Tucker, ? Maybe that's a guy that's big. Anyway, Kirk Cousins. He's got Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Ray McLeod,
your boy Darnell Mooney.
Yeah, I know, Darnell Mooney. So yeah, no, I get what you're saying. The matchup scares me. Kirk Cousins scares me a little bit. I won't lie.
I mean, yeah, I know PS2 is really good, but you know who else is really good? Jalen Ramsey. And what? He has to cover one guy? Like, if you shut down one person on the Raiders offense and then...
I'm looking at this Gardner Minshew guy. I might have to go back to Kirk Cousins right quick. That
yes,
shit is
please.
Crazy, bro. Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
You talked me off the ledge. Good job.
We can't have a fantasy podcast where we're recommending Minshew over Kirk.
You talked me off the ledge. Okay, good job. Way to go. Dane and Ethan. You and Ethan. That's the next one. You actually picked.
I went with Ethan. I've been picking against myself like almost every week so far in Dynasty, and the mojo's been working so far on my side. That's not exactly why I'm doing it for this week. I think across the board, Ethan's players are a lot better, but he has some of the worst matchups for all of his players this week, minus like Jahmyr Gibbs. And then on the other hand, all of my matchups are looking pretty prime.
Nicey.
So it was kind of just a debate of like, do you want the players or do you want the matchup? And I kind of went with the players because you can't always just look at matchups and say this is the reason why someone's going to win.
I will be honest. I took the opposite route, I think I went, damn, these matchups are bad. And I was like, damn, your matchups are really nice. And that's what I'm rolling with. I think Aaron Rodgers. I think that game could actually be high scoring. Although Jordan Love is going to have a not so great game. Like he's not going to have a bad game necessarily, but he's not going to have like a outstanding game. I don't think it's going to be better than Travis Etienne. Having 2 quarterbacks is important. I think it's going to be important to have the 2 quarterbacks. And then Tank Dell versus Dallas, great matchup. You really like this Seattle versus San Francisco game. Could be big points there.
And then I got the little stacks you like.
Got the double stacks here, which is crazy. One of these guys from each will do great. That's what my guess is. I don't know. I think Jane Daniels could maybe have a down game. I just like your matchups. This bottom 4, 3 or 4 here rushed me for Ethan's side right here. Just murdered me.
Andrews?
I said 3 or 4. I'm probably gonna go with 3. Yeah. This bottom 3, like this could have a combined 5 points. I'm not even joking. It's gross.
And he really doesn't have anyone to allow like Gabe Davis.
That's right. I'm at. I think.
Also,
I think
what were Cooper and Keon Coleman doing to each other that they both got wrist injuries?
Yeah, like, pretty weird.
Sus.
Little suspect here. Maybe need to investigate that. Might need to look further into that there. Kind of weird. We have one other difference, right?
Yeah,
is it
for us?
Riley Ben, maybe?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. I'll be honest. I think I did this for a couple reasons. I think Demont's going to have a great game. I think Cooper Kupp could have a great game. And Joe Burrow and Josh Allen are really hard to bet against when you have a couple other guys who might have like 20 points. That's the gist of it. That's my entire spiel.
Riley has those quarterbacks, but I'm not in love with the matchups for the quarterbacks because Allen's playing against the Chiefs. Not a fan of that. And then Burrow's has one of the other tough matchups of the Chargers. Yep. I'm not in love with that. I mean, Ben's quarterbacks are nothing to write home about with Derek Carr and Jameis Winston, but he's got the better pieces at running back and wide receiver, hands down. So that's why I went with that route. And Sutton and Ridley have been playing really good recently, so they're not even like
that's true.
Bad flex plays.
No, I mean, like I think it's gonna be a close game. Honestly, like it's not like I was like so super sold on Riley or anything. Yeah, I just like when I look at Riley's team, if I think a couple of like the skill position players could have a really big week, it makes it really hard for me to bet against them just because even though the matchups are bad, I almost feel like some of these quarterbacks are quarterback like matchup proof. I mean, like they're going to put up their points, especially these two. But
I was just thinking of Riley's team and I was looking at his running backs. I'm like, that's not even the running back he drafted this year. He drafted Jonathan Brooks. What is your outlook for Brooks and Chuba next year in Dynasty, I guess?
So I saw something, and I actually kind of vibe with it, we'll say. This wasn't like from a reliable source or anything. It was just like, I don't remember where I was reading it. It was just like, what if they do something like this? And I thought, that could be cool. Like a Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery type vibe, where obviously it would be discount. Like they're not as good as the Lions, right? Yep. Like it's going to be less points. But like that type of situation, I could see that being the case. Because if they're going to sign Chuba, they're going to use him. So I could see it being like a Demont.
I like
Jahmyr Gibbs, way worse version, but that type of deal.
Maybe like I feel like a discount version of it might even be Pollard and Tajay that we saw in like the beginning of the year.
I think and like I do think though that I think they'd be better than that.
I think so.
I think Jonathan Brooks and Chuba would be even on a worse. Well, God, they're not even a worse team. They'd be better than those two. So and Pollard was good for a lot of the year too. So that could say a lot about one or the other of Chuba and Jonathan Brooks.
And we've been getting some flack for missing some trades to talk about, but doesn't look like any have gone through. I was really happy with my waiver claims that I did this week. I got dropping Andy Dalton, and then I got Mac Jones also. And I've been hearing some speculations that maybe Trevor Lawrence's injury is more serious than what the public thinks. So maybe he's going to be missing some more time, and we got a quarterback there. And then a lot of people are saying Daniel Jones is done for the year. They're going to do what they did like with Russell Wilson, where they just sit him and make sure he doesn't get hurt.
Really?
Yeah. Because they don't want, if he gets hurt, then they owe him a lot more guaranteed money.
Holy, can you imagine that Thanksgiving Thursday game, dude? If Daniel Jones doesn't play, Cooper Rush versus what? Like Danny DeVito?
Drew Lock.
Oh,
that's who I picked up.
Drew Lock's better at least, but that could be a gross game. Like it already was going to be a gross game, but with not Daniel Jones, even with Drew Lock, who I don't think is very good at football, it's going to be gross. Like that's people might not watch that game. I wouldn't blame them.
What time is it? The noon one, I hope, or like
it might be the middle one. Let me look.
That's prime football time, right after you finish your food.
I know, dude.
I'll just be watching highlights from the earlier game.
Yeah, honestly, 20. Okay. Oh my God, it's 3:30. It's the 3:30 game.
No,
it is. Let's go, bro. Let's go, Cowboys.
What week is that? Am I gonna have to play
2 weeks from now? I believe.
Week 13.
I hope Trey Lance is playing football by then.
Oh,
he at least would be more fun. He'll be more fun to watch.
I can play Aaron Rodgers instead of one of the Giants quarterbacks, so I'm good with that. I'll play Rodgers against Seattle. I'll be good with that.
Is that it? You got anything else you want to add, Mr. Dane?
Nothing for me. We'll be back next Wednesday.
Yeah, next Wednesday we're gonna do more of the matchup previews. I think that was fun. We had a good time doing it. I'm sure it's a little bit more interesting to watch as well. Getting some more insight on those games coming up. So we appreciate you all watching. Don't forget to sack that like and subscribe button. Like it's Jaden Daniels. Did I say Jaden or Jalen? Jaden Daniels and Jalen Hurts. I don't know what I said, but that's what we're going with. We'll see you next time.